over the years, and I am here to read for you from my latest, which is two plays, The Snow Queen and November Door. I wrote and performed these with a friend in the early aughts, and I just published them together in volume. One is particularly appropriate for Christmas, The Snow Queen, which you'll hear from first. I'd like to thank very much Miriam Hawk, who put these readings together, and Paul Willis, who puts Saints and Sinners together every year to recite it especially well over the taking a part of it this year, which unfortunately had to happen. The Snow Queen, the first one, is an adapted short story, and you can kind of tell as it's read. So it turns back into a solo reading, very easily, although I will do some voices of some different characters. So I hope this is working. I've never worked with this platform before. I guess I'll know soon. There's a bare stage. It is 1968 in north central Connecticut. Jo Osborne had big shoulders and short black hair and bangs. Her father, Dr. Osborne, had delivered me, but he was dead by the time all this happened. My parents introduced me to Jo one late winter Sunday in 1968, up in the church choir loft, after the service. She shook my hand. She raised an eyebrow, nodded once, and smiled like we'd been friends a long time. Pleased to meet you, sir. Care to give me a hand putting back some hymnals? Sure. Right away, we started inventing these jokes, like pretending we were stevedores loading a ship. Hey, hup, ho, hey, hup, ho, hey, hup, ho. Afterwards, I was leaving with my parents. I tried to get over next to Mom, so my dad and my brother Russell wouldn't hear. I said, that was a woman, right? Mom shushed me. She might have looked at Dad. He was chuckling. He gave me this kind of punch on the shoulder, called a love tap, I guess. What? People might hear you, Mom said. She gave Dad a look. We can discuss it at home. But we never did. The next week, after Sunday school, I ran to church and up to the choir loft. Somehow I knew it was always Jo who put away the hymnals. I was afraid I'd be late, even though it was just 11:05. I was also afraid I'd have to introduce myself again, but, well, hey there, sport. Hi. She acted so happy, like I was her old friend and we always did this. Come to do hymnal duty again? Yep. She hadn't even started. Wonderful. We can start over here. We'll skin and dress 100 of them and be back in port in time for supper. Did you know, in whaling days, they cut the whale blubber like the pages of a book and called them Bibles? Nope. It's true. So, how's life been treating you since last Sunday? Math class still as boring as it was in 1942, I mean. She was so good to me. It was almost like she understood the thing about me, how I couldn't be like other boys no matter how hard I tried, including my own brother, Russell. But Jo didn't mind the weird way I was. She was different too. She did look and act kind of, like a man. But she was funny and nice, and after a while, the way she was made more sense than anyone else. While we put the hymnals in the racks, Jo told me about her favorite hymns and her house up on Coe Hill and the meadows out back. And then we put away the extra folding chairs she had set out for the choir, and finally my dad had to come get me. Mr. Yu! Sorry, guess we lost track of time. You have raised an awfully fine helper here. Would you folks mind if I offered him a few shekels to help me with some chores this afternoon? Up to the old manse? Jo meant her house. Dad looked annoyed, Not like the answer was no, but like she shouldn't have asked in the first place. He said we'd have to talk to Mom. Mom got all anxious, but I said, please? Now, sport, if it's not convenient. Joe said she would pay me 25 cents an hour. Finally, Mom said it was all right if I was home by 4. 4 o'clock it is, Mrs. Yu. Working with Joe wasn't like chores at home, but like I just happened along to help a friend. We had these regular jokes. Want to give me a hand here, sport? Oh, very amusing. And so helping out on Coe Hill became a tradition. Joe loved traditions. For example, every Sunday she asked, "What you reading, sport?" Because I like to read so much. Stuff other than what we read in school. Another tradition was knocking off work, halt, and going with Joe's Basset Hound Moose in the truck over to the cider mill in Granby. Emergency cider run! One time she showed me how to put a new hinge on my butterfly box, and she let me keep the screwdriver. My dad gave this to me when I was about your age, and now I give it to you. I went home and told Mom, Joe can do anything. Mom said, well, that's good, I guess. Sort of to himself, Dad said, well, not quite everything. And he chuckled. When Dad said stuff to himself, you didn't ask him what it was or what it meant. He'd just say, oh, nothing. In April, at the first church square dance, Joe wore her one nice outfit I ever saw: gray slacks, a yellow sweater, a white turtleneck, and a tiny silver cross on a chain. She came over to me and said, handsome sir, might one hope your dance card is not full? But Dad said, I think Steve might like to dance with one of those pretty young ladies over there. Am I right or am I right? Oh, well, you go ahead, sport. We'll see you later. And then, my apologies that my computer keeps ringing. I didn't know how to turn that off. And then Christmas comes. And there's one special encounter that Stephen and Joe have at Christmas that, due to a small issue, turns into something very big for Stephen, something kind of devastating. And that's what the second part of the play is about. Thank you again to everyone for listening, for putting on Saints and Sinners, for putting off Saints and Sinners, whatever you would call it, putting it off till next year. And I hope to see you all then. Bye-bye.